Stream should be up.
Alright, so Demaster, are you going to be casting with me?
Yes, I just need an invite to the lobby and I'll be good.
Lobby's full. I will PM you the password.
Oh wait, we're in champ select already.
Yeah, so you're just going to have to watch stream through champ select. Then once we get past the spectator delay, you can, what's it called?
I can
spectate off
from
the
the,
play.
yeah. Give me a second to get the stream.
Alright, looks like Bilge are choosing to ban Braum this time.
They banned Quinn, they just didn't seem all that effective, even though banning ADC is usually pretty damaging. Decided to go for the support, the other half of the bot lane. And for those who weren't already aware of this, I posted it up in package chat and in the game lobby. But because of a failed roll on Bilgewater's Pixie exploration, they get a random summer spell banned from them each game. The first game they rolled, and it was Ghosts that got banned. And then for this game, they rolled a 12, and that is Smite, which with the current way the jungle stuff, that is very damaging. That
hurts a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's no control over Dragon, no control over Baron. If they decide to jungle, clearing is going to be tough because they still have the one jungler, Nautilus, right? And his clear is stupid slow as it is.
Yeah, they may just have to completely give up having a jungler have a 2-top deal or something. I don't know how, but they're gonna have to basically work around this huge impediment because, without Smite, it's like even some of the strongest junglers can't really do stuff without Smite in the current meta. Yeah, so
I think
Bilgewater got off easy in the first game because Ghost isn't huge. I mean, I do know Pally's used it a bit on TF, but other than that, Ghost isn't a largely used spell. Second game, it really hurt them.
yeah,
Balance, I guess.
and some are saying that Jax could possibly get away with jungling without Smite, but we don't know.
I don't know. I mean, because a lot of it has to do with without that clear speed that the Smite gives, you can end up taking ridiculous damage and not being able to you have to constantly back just to heal up. I guess Jax, his dodge would help out with that.
Man.
Yeah, but even then, without Smite, you can get countered pretty easily. I just don't think early games Jax will really do enough damage on his own in the jungle without the Smite.
Yeah, and don't forget, you can't get jungle lines without Smite anymore.
Exactly.
So, yeah, he doesn't. I mean, that's less. A lot of the jungle lines give you bonus golds and healing while fighting in the jungle, bonus damage while in the jungle.
I guess they could just default to, Season 2 jungling, start cloth and 5 pots.
Yeah, they could. I mean, we'll see how that works out. It would be interesting to say the least, because the jungle monsters are certainly different in Season 2.
Please, I don't. Please, no support TF. Please, no. Please.
This will be interesting to see.
Are they gonna do the double top? Maokai? Do we have Maokai?
I think Maokai, if you picked him up, he was only an anti-Shadow Isles champion. Let me check on the site, so I'm not saying
I thought it
lies.
was an pick because they did something on some island that made grass grows and that made Maokai happy.
Well, I'm just going to check the champion list real quick.
Yeah, apparently, well, okay.
It says Maokai. Yep. So evidently he's not just an anti-champion like Nasus or Leona are. He is, in fact, just all the way for Bilgewater.
This is a very interesting team comp.
I'm assuming that's gonna be
Support
double top.
Uni.
Oh no, I figured. Okay, I honestly don't know what the hell's happening. So
I think that, well, I'm going to start with Freljord because it's easier. That because they don't have Braum, they went support Nunu, and Nunu, although not in the current meta, he's not really used as a support. He was used as a support quite a bit in previous seasons because of the attack speed buff he can give to his lane partner.
And now he's good at peeling and chasing because that slow on his ice ball is it's not a huge slow, but it's a long slow. That's not easy to run from.
And with Relic Shield, he sustaining lane would be great because he Qs, he gets health back from his Q, health back from the Relic Shield, and gold goes to his ADC. So that works for him. Now to the more confusing Bilgewater one, we see at the last second Maokai switches to exhaust, that suggesting it is Maokai support. And then Jax is probably either going duo top or maybe trying to jungle using the barrier as a way to not die in the jungle.
I don't know. Popping a summoner spell that takes, what is the cooldown on it? 2 minutes 30 seconds? It just seems inefficient. But I suppose I'll have to do that if they want to jungle because, as we've said before, Smite's banned for Bilge.
Yeah, it's yeah, I mean, Smite, back, in previous seasons, Smite, it was a big hit, but it wasn't as damning as it is in Season 4 when they completely redid the jungle, made so you only get 2 pots.
It's inflation, man. Potions getting more expensive.
Hold on. Mike, 12 is TP, not Smite.
Mike.
There's no official rule on what the
Yes,
numbers
there
are. I
is.
just I don't see. I'm looking at that page.
Hallie's found it.
I don't see the page.
He linked it.
Michael!
Why do I have a bad feeling about this?
It
Michael!
just says random.
No, it says 1 berry. Smite is 11. 12 is teleport.
Yeah, we don't have
Alright.
teleport.
So do we re-roll or do we just remake?
We are restarting this.
Okay.
We were just gonna remake, and we can't use teleport. It's not like we were in the first place. It's just now we'll have smite.
Okay,
Sorry,
so-
Porchop, that message was that.
Yeah, that was I was looking at it before it got updated. That is why. Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, thanks for bringing that to my attention. I was just going off of the order they list when you look at like this
Yay!
listing.
Smite!
Alright, so yeah, that changes a lot. Bilge is now not crippled.
Everyone's probably crying tears of joy.
Okay, I
Good
sent
work,
him.
everybody.
I told Freljord that we're gonna remake the game.
Yeah.
Also, Pork, I sent that message with caps. That's why the password wasn't working.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah. Don't what do you think I'm mad? I can make another sandwich. Maybe.
Go
Shut
make
up,
your
I'm hungry.
sandwich, mage.
Right.
All you,
I have to
man.
leave first. Anyway. Leaving the thing now.
Bye.
Bye. Well then. That's okay, Mike. Simple mistakes.
Yeah, I was like, I had it open. I was looking at it, but I was looking at the old version and it recently got updated with the chart.
Actually, to be quite honest, we all know who was behind that flop. Hoi, hoi, hoi.
Mordekaiser?
How Mordekaiser do that? I don't know.
Magic voodoo that he's doing whilst in Brazil on his vacation.
So, gotta wait for all the players to get out of game, I guess.
Yeah, I think they are not. I don't know. I can't tell.
It says in game. Woohoo.
So, I want to give my MVP award to Pally, who caught that crap.
Yeah.
They will be sung about in legends from this day. People will go into bars and say, "Did you hear about that summoner who caught the table there?" And they're gonna clink their glasses. To Pally's! To Pally's!
And yeah, but that's if Bilgewater ends up winning the next two games.
Oh, I hope
you
so.
know, if Bilgewater doesn't win, it's like, oh yeah, they caught it, but it didn't actually result to anything. Then it's not going to matter. But if Bilgewater wins, it's like, whew, dodge a bullet.
In before the jungler saves the day and carries.
Alright, they're out of game. Did you send me an invite, Mike?
Yeah, I clicked invite on Porkchop.
Alright, hold on, my client's derping up again. Can you type the password in Raycall, please? Thank you. Nice. Alright, yeah, you have the password to master, right?
Yeah, give me a second. My client has decided to take a nap.
Yep.
That
Trying
works
to
too, of course.
Find the last person for Freljord. I think I got everyone for Bilgewater invited. The master's here. Who are we missing?
Freljord.
Freljord, wasn't that
Road
Road
Raptor.
Raptor?
Oh yeah, Road Raptor. I think he's having some DC issues. He's joining the room again and again.
Yeah, I was like trying to invite him and it wouldn't let me. Alright, oh yeah, I gotta get Dark. That's who else I'm missing.
Oh yeah, and give Rob invite, I think.
That means we should have one more person who I invited Pally's, I thought.
Pally is here.
Oh yeah, she's in the spectate. Alright, now...
I think you got
Do I
GG's.
Yes. Oh wait, yeah, Rex
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Rex was this game. GG was last game.
Yeah.
GG was just the one who caught my air.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There we go. I am confused. Alright, well, I don't have invite powers. Well, GG is in the spot. Someone needs to invite him.
Yeah, JD's gonna have to invite him.
Alright, let me... I should check with Cupcake if I should re-roll or not because of that.
No! We are starting.
Right then. I'm figuring that we're pretty much going to see the same theme from Freljord.
Alright, so... Yeah, according to Cupcake, it doesn't change because the die was right. It was just I had the numbers matched up to the wrong spells. Yeah, like, you know, Cupcake, he made this whole table that I didn't see because I was looking at it before it got updated, the page. I just went to the list of spells and just went in order left to right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you know.
Yeah, that's okay.
So, teleport ban this time. Let's talk about that because that is, yeah, that's the one for this game. Not as huge as Smite. Definitely not as huge.
It's gonna cut down on some of the mobility, I think, but otherwise, I'm pretty sure Bilge can play a pretty standard. I mean, I guess you could say they kind of have a global ult to make up for it if they pick GP, but
Yeah, I don't think it's a huge ban. It's like, you know, a lot of times, you know, it's the top lane that goes teleport, and I believe Dark Omega usually goes ignite, not teleport, so not a huge loss. So, yeah, Bilgewater dodged a giant bullet and got away with, you know, very minor hit to them.
that's yeah, that was one hell of a save there. But it doesn't look, unless Raw is just waiting. Nobody has taken Smite yet. I assume it's a Maokai
Smite.
jungle.
They're hovering over double smite. Probably heavy weapons guy's gonna drop his, just to taunt that they now have it.
But otherwise, on the side of Freljord, same comp as the first game. Probably gonna be a new support coming out for Road Raptor.
Ooh, Dark Omega hovering over Nectin, although he always goes to that Gangplank. He's a god at Gangplank. If he goes, you know, Renekton, all the fans are going to be disappointed.
It'll be depressing, I'm sure.
You know, although Frodo would be like, yes, of course. He's not going to.
So it was in fact a Nautilus jungle. Alright.
Yeah, they were just trolling around, like, we have Smite, we're going to brandish it around, let everyone know that we have it. Yeah,
So it looks like there's going to be a Maokai support, which in some aspects I can see the ult that lowers damage is definitely going to be helpful when he gets there. Free wards from the saplings, EC to keep the rest of the lane off here's ADC. So yeah, this should be an interesting, very interesting support choice for Bilge.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely more of, the all-in type support like Leona. Like Nami's, very much sustain, harass abilities. He's just gonna dive in, try to tank it. Free wards are always nice.
Especially ones that explode on your enemies. So it'll be definitely interesting to see bot lane fight here, whether or not Quinn can overtake Graves or vice versa, especially since some rather unorthodox supports coming out for both sides.
Yeah, Freljord was forced into this unorthodox strategy. Bilge just like, let's try it, even though we
Let's
do
try
have
male
it.
support.
Yeah, we don't have to. We got Nami, but let's just, for the hell of it, try out Maokai.
And then Udyr versus Nautilus in the jungle, because Nautilus is the only jungler that poor Bilge has. And
Well,
Udyr is like god of the jungle.
yeah, in the current meta, Udyr is really godlike thanks to the OP Devour upgrade to the jungle items. You get God Ear, basically.
Don't even have to go Madstone anymore, right?
Yeah, it's like it's like the old Madstone on Yi and Udyr, what they would do, but the base stats are higher. You get 40 damage from the start, and you can buy it straight up as soon as you have the gold.
25 on the Feral Flare.
On the Feral Flare, you have to farm up 30 stacks, and then you get 25 damage per auto attack as base. Now, as soon as you get the gold, you can buy it, and it has 40 right off the start. That is so much stronger.
I have a feeling that the current Devourer is not going to survive the first round of Siege.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be nerfed. I think I've heard people talking about it. Riot has announced it.
It's probably going to get dropped 10, 15 points.
Yeah. I also would expect. I think they're also saying they also want to nerf Warwick because currently I forgot the name. One of the jungle items that gives you true damage.
The Skirmisher's Blade, because he gets the 5 auto attacks with his ult, and when he jumps on somebody with the blade and the smite, they're done. It's just explode.
Yeah, that is ridiculous. It's a guaranteed kill right there. Like, not even skill required. You just jump, smite, jump, dead.
And to think the Skirmisher's Blade was originally intended to, counter jungle by taking out the other jungler.
Now you see top lane work, getting smite, and getting that item.
It's who needs to jungle when I can just jump on them with that? It's ridiculous.
Yep. But now, enough about Warwick. He is from Zod. This is between Bilgewater and Freljord. Alright, and going through the skin war.
Support Maokai?
Yeah, support Maokai.
We were talking about that.
No fishy today. Well, except Fizz.
Oh, and I also have an orange.
Yeah. Alright, for the skin war, Bilgewater is rocking 2 skins, Astronalis and Pool Party Graves, whereas they just have the normal Fizz, normal Gangplank, and normal Maokai. You want to do Freljord?
Freljord also has only 2 skins, with Woad Scout Quinn and Black Frost Anivia, with regular Udyr, Trundle, and Noon.
I gotta say, the Woad Scout works great with the Freljord team because, it makes Quinn look like she's from Freljord. And, Black Frost and Idiot. What?
Doesn't look very warm.
Well, you remember Sejuani was originally wearing a bikini.
That's true. But then again, she grew up in the Freljord. Quinn is
Yeah.
from like, what 70 everyday Demacia.
Yeah. I mean, it does make her look like she's, from Freljord. And then, you got Nivea, that's a legendary skin.
That's
So
evil Nivea.
the evil Nivea, yeah. So even though it's the same number, I think Freljord wins that one for me. What do you agree, disagree?
Cost-wise, Black Frost is I believe it's the most expensive skin because it's a legendary 1820 RP skin.
So, is that agree or disagree? I can't tell.
That's an agree. Freljord wins.
All right, win. Yeah, I gotta say, even though the Nivea is the most expensive, I really like the Woad Scout. It makes her fit in with the Freljord. It's like a Freljord skin for the Demacian pickup that they got. So
I don't own a Win skin. I own her, but not a skin. I kind of prefer Phoenix. Personally, my favorite skin that's here right now, Astronautilus. I love Astronautilus.
Hey, he's an astronaut. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's what the astronauts turn into while they're on the moon.
That makes Valorant space travel canon.
Yeah,
It's great. It's terrific. Him and Timo, they're part of NASA, Ruterra NASA.
So
NASA.
I'm just saying, Riot kind of dropped the ball. They made these space skins with Astronautilus, Astrotino, but then they didn't say anything about how they could get to the moon. Factions solved that problem for them.
Exactly. And then all of a sudden, Nautilus became a tertiary for Vandal.
I don't know if he is or not. I think isn't he like a tertiary for Piltover?
And I'm not sure. That was a joke, honestly.
Yeah, I think he actually became I think he was a pickup for, at least a potential pickup for Piltover and Hextech, because Piltover ran out of stuff to pick because literally Piltover's champions delve deep into the Vandal City and a little bit into Zon, and since those other two factions were in the arc as well, the roster was very limited, and so they got a bunch of Bilge pickups. I think Nautilus was, I don't think they picked him, but he was potentially picked up if they could, if they voted for.
It's because Piltover wants to go to space too. Looks like an early invade from Freljord looking to harass at the blue.
They already got free gold from killing Fizz's Trinket Ward. That is a slight gold advantage, but it's very early, so it's not really going to do much. But as according to the scoreboard, they are now 100 gold ahead.
Yep.
Can Udyr get him? Oh, Udyr started Phoenix form. He can't stun the man.
Well, of course he's going to jungle. Of course he started Phoenix form.
Well,
There's
they
no
see
point
in the
starting
LCS,
anything
they
else
say a
except
lot.
Turtle.
They say a lot in the
But
LCS.
what it looks like,
Stun.
he gets caught out. The rest just slows for days from Freljord.
Plus the Nivea stun to get a little hard to CC.
So that's what before
So that
2 minutes.
is
Before minions have spawned, just about.
Yeah. Alright, but as I was saying, just it worked out anyways, but most in the LCS they say, you don't want to actually pick up your first ability until you're about to use it. So that, oh, I got caught out before the laning phase starts, I can just use my ability to escape, or you could go your damage ability depending on what you need. That's why, in that case, had it gone differently, Graves could have escaped because Udyr didn't get the bear form. And so, if he got LCS style, not grabbed an ability, when he saw Graves, he could have quickly clicked to pick up his bear form and then used it.
But unfortunately, even though he didn't get bear, if he had gotten bear form, Graves would have just died a little bit quicker.
I think Fro had to burn a few summer spells on him. Yeah, they burnt Exhaust, and then Quinn burnt Flash. So they had to burn a few summer spells. Maybe they could have saved a few spells.
But both of Graves' summoners are down as well.
Yeah. So they traded 2 summer spells.
2 for 3. So despite that Freljord got the kill, Bilgewater is up in spells.
I mean, kill's worth more though. That's just a given.
Yeah.
When you see people flash for kills or flash to not get killed, I mean, so. All right. Oh, heavy weapons guy in the mid lane on Fizz goes in on Nivea, gets her very low, but doesn't continue because she's under a tower. He take a lot, and egg Nivea. She just go into egg and he just under the tower.
Brundle actually taken below half health by Gangplank up in the top lane.
Yeah, but Udyr is there to try and gank him. Can they get this down correctly? Oh, Trundle's not in position. Udyr's taking a lot of free damage.
Udyr. Oh, and there's a pause.
That Udyr could easily be going down. Look how low his health is, and the amount of damage that Gangplank can power with a Q and a couple basic attacks is enough to finish him.
Tactical pause.
Trundle really dropped the ball there.
He stayed under his turret while Udyr ganked, and now Udyr is in the same position Trundle was in.
Yep. And I'm just looking at I know how good Dark Omega is despite being unranked, I believe. He is so good on that gameplay. I see him easily bursting down this Udyr, and then I doubt Trundle will be able to finish him off. He'll go back to lane phase. Gameplank's just gonna, heal back up.
I'm not entirely sure if he's going to have to flash or not, but I'm pretty sure Udyr's gone.
Flash burnt, so
yeah.
That's what happens when you don't have good communication for a gank. Your jungler gets killed, and then your jungler doesn't have to show up to your lane again.
Even though the jungler is the dead one, it's still his fault.
Yeah. He pinged it, right? I think I saw a ping. So, I mean... Well, that's teamwork for you.
But I might not have been paying attention.
That's teamwork and communication. You have to be on the same page. Yeah, so that kill evens out the kill score, although first blood and that is a little more gold than the average kill, so Freljord up a bit.
It does not appear that Udyr pinged out. Oh yes, he did. Udyr pinged it out, but Trundle did not follow up in time.
Nivea brought very low in the mid lane. Sorry for interrupting you there, but had some action. So yeah, Nivea really being harassed by the Fizz. She's very low. Still has her, egg Nivea, but if she gets stuck in egg form out in the middle of lane and on her tower, it's the equivalent of dying. Because Fizz will usually finish off that egg that's defenseless and gives her lowers her armor and magic resist.
At least until late game when it actually increases it.
Yeah, it starts when you switch, you lose, but then later in the game, it actually gets. Now let's see. In the bot lane, Nautilus is nearby, but he's just grabbing the skull crab. Looking, maybe. I doubt he'd be tower diving, but I think he's trying to counter jungle.
It's pretty even in CS for the bot lane as it goes. Quinn is up 5, but that could easily change.
Go down very low, but he gets on the tower just in time to save him. Gangplank ult pops the egg Nivea.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Not enough to kill her, but now she has to worry about the tower dive from the Nautilus.
Because if Fizz and Nautilus both go in on a Nivea, especially a Nivea with low mana, without egg Nivea, she's done.
Oh, the ignite, is that enough? Oh, it is.
The Riptide, and goodbye, Nivea. So an excellent team up between Fizz and Nautilus, able to pop egg Nivea and then take out, with the help of gameplay, pop egg Nivea and then take out a Nivea.
Yeah, so what that was is Bilge saw the failed gank up top lane. It's like, okay, we're gonna show Freljord how to properly gank, and they did.
And they did.
You both are on the same page, you both go in, and the 2v1 is enough to get you a free kill. Well, not free, it costs you a gank, but you know.
But if you get the kill from the gank, then the gank is worth it.
Always.
Ooh,
In the
some
bot lane,
poke in the bot.
yeah, I thought they were going to go in, because Maokai Win rooted the Quinn, but then he just backed off, he was just trying to get him off of his ADC, stop the harass.
Graves regenning up, but was at that time had been probably a little too low for his tastes.
Now, don't forget though, Graves is one of the tankier
True.
ADCs.
Due to his passive, he gains the armor and magic resist when in combat. But that doesn't make him invincible, it just makes him slightly harder to kill than other ADCs.
Yep. That's why the old Tarek Graves bot lane, it's a classic lane because Tarek gives his lane partner armor, Graves gives himself armor, and magic resist. It's a very tanky bot lane.
Shark coming out, bites down on Anivia, but Fizz is not going to have quite enough damage. Trying to turn it around.
The stun of the barrier is just enough. Oh, the auto attack's coming out. The gameplay ult and the trickster to save him.
Oh, that was excellently done by Gangplank, slowing Udyr to save Fizz, whereas they counter gank the jungler and another kill onto Udyr. Or Udyr gets killed again.
Yeah. Now, Udyr might be able to get out of that if instead of try and go out through the mid lane, if he tried to run to the river, because his bot lane had moved up. And so he would have had backup instead of running into the Freljord team.
Trying to gank onto Fizz. Sky Strike not quite enough. Oh, but the auto attack is.
And then new ults brought very low.
Ooh.
Can Quinn get him? Yes, that is enough, but New comes down for it.
Oh. So, that a little sloppy, but they killed both Fizz and Nautilus, so
That is
I
in
guess
their
what you
favor.
call that a win for Freljord.
Yeah. That rotation was, in Freljord's favor. It was a win for them, but those are showing, even when you win, we get a little something in return, like that kill.
Quinn's now behind in CS, but up those 2 kills.
And an assist.
So, and an assist, and a pickaxe.
However, tower goes down. Quentin, in goals, he's still up a bit compared to Graves, but that tower is pretty bad. You don't want to be losing towers early on. And then again, Bilge loves taking towers early on. That's just how it works. Bad for one team, is good for the other.
They just gotta make sure they don't get Shadow Island syndrome and forget to finish the game.
Yeah. I don't know, it's weird. Shadow Isles is performing, in the feature matches, they're performing worse now that they've picked up an ADC. Yeah, so who would have thought it?
Just one of those twists of fate. Oh!
Ooh, the puns!
I don't know how that was related, but it was a pun. Udyr crossing lanes. Oh, I just noticed Anivia and Trundle are both top looking to take out this Gangplank. Uh-oh. Walden pillared into the Anivia ult. Has to flash back to his tower. Drops his ult right on himself. Trundle is low, but Anivia Anivia is low on mana, so
he is relatively safe. That is such a big advantage for Bilbar when they're unranked, filling a bronze slot, can take on a silver and platinum sword.
yeah.
Here comes Raw.
And then again, I've heard this guy is pretty good at Gangplank, so.
He does look like a diamond when he's on his Gangplank, so yeah. Anivia
Anivia
just out range. Oh, but the speed up from Gangplank. hook egg Nibia,
But
and they
they're not going to
don't
be able
want
to
to
take
tank
it
it
down
next
because
to Udyr.
Udyr and Biz is very low. Oh, gets stunned up. Oh, the trickster. Oh, but the fire finishes him off. Udyr
Yeah.
looking to pick up, trying to take out Gangplank, but Stun is tanked by, staggered by Nautilus. Oh, Nautilus gets walled in, but goes around it.
Udyr should probably back off. He's out of mana, and they're out of the Bilgewater Tower. So Trundle, he teleported in there to try and help the fight, but by the time his teleport got off, the fight had moved from top lane into the river. He couldn't catch up.
Yep. So, as the teleport popped and a Fizz dead. So, somewhat unfortunate. Although they did get the kill, but that.
Yeah. So if you look at the score and all, it's only about a 400 gold lead.
Gold lead, yes.
And that just went away. It's now in like a 300 gold lead in Freljord's favor. That's how close it is. Like, one tower swaps the lead. It's not big at all. But Trundle looking to die for taking the tower and sticking too long afterwards.
Oh, the Nautilus anchor.
Yeah. So, gameplay not really necessary, but, it got Gameplay a free assist, so.
And it looks like Freljord is looking to get the first dragon of the game.
They're going to trade Dragon for Tower. And early on, the Tower's worth more because Dragon is a stacking thing now. So River Dragon will be worth more than a Tower, but this first Dragon, Tower's worth more. But if Freljord keeps control of that Dragon,
but that's
they
like,
get very
that's 6
powerful.
seconds until it comes back now, or 6 minutes rather.
And so, if they can continue and maintain their Dragon control, eventually, they're going to get this huge buff from getting 5
Exactly.
Dragons, but that's
They
it.
have the increased attack. They'll get the damage to minions and monsters, the damage to towers, speed, and if they can get 5 dragons, that's the true damage and doubling all the other buffs.
Yeah,
So
the 5 stacks of Dragon is worth more than a Baron buff now. The Baron buff kind of got nerfed a bit. Well, it feels like a nerf, although it wasn't really. It was, just a change because they instead of giving champions more power, gives them just a little bit, and it enhances minion power that we receive. So we got 2 fights, one in the bot lane, one in the jungle. Gangplank is chasing Udyr in the jungle. The bot lane fight is,
and up in top, Tunnel's probably going to get exploded by Fizz and Nautilus. Udyr taken low, it looks like, by Gangplank. But their bot lane just got iced, no pun intended.
I don't know if Freljord can take this. Nunu doesn't seem to have... He's not tanking enough yet to do the tower. They got to quickly push this, but if they can't get it fast enough, it's quite possible Bilgewater is going to get an inner tower, and that is not a good trade for Freljord. The inner tower is worth more.
Udyr trying to defend this, but
He's looking to die.
they
man,
managed
he's
to
so
take down
low.
the bot
The
turret,
shield's enough to save him. But
this inner turret is taking a lot of damage.
it's gonna go down. I mean, Freljord, they got 2 kills in its tower for 1 kill and an inner tower. The inner tower is worth more than the outer, and so Bilgewater comes out on top.
A slight gold lead, about 200-300 gold.
Yeah.
Although, something that has me slightly worried is that there's not a whole lot of damage on that mid Freljord tower, whereas they're already on, whereas Bilgewater has already lost one, and so that could become problematic because Fizz hasn't stuck around in this lane, but neither has Anivia.
Yeah, and Nibia, once the Bilgewater tower went down, the threat to her tower is a lot less. And so she's locked free to roam. Freljord starting up the siege, and with Anivia's wave clear, it's really hard to stop a Freljord siege or siege against them. Gangplank doing the Qs, putting out tons of crit damage. Anivia looking to go down, but it's low. This one gets popped.
Oh, Anivia and Nunu both going down.
Yeah, I think part of the problem is right now, Freljord just doesn't have a front line, it feels. I mean, Trundle wasn't there for the fight. He's kind of their tankiest member with Thornmail. Although that does nothing against, like the Fizz. But that is, that is... If Trundle is forced to do a Thornmail because of the Gangplank, that is a very good job by Gangplank to force that.
A well-placed Gangplank ult cuts off a lot of the... and kills the other 3 members of Freljord. And down goes this middle inner tower. So it's okay now, because they've broken 2 of Bilgewater's inner turrets. Dragging up in a minute and a half thereabouts. And it looks like they've rotated to the next inner turret. This is not looking good for Freljord all of a sudden.
But this is just very, very smart playing by Bilgewater. They saw that the Freljord team was out of formation while trying to siege the mid lane. They had their squishiest member, Anivia, out in the front with no tank to protect her. And so they engaged on her, got a quick kill. Nunu tried to save her. Yeah, so basically, they saw that in video, and Freljord was just out of, their formation that they needed to be in for a siege. They engaged, got a free kill. Went for a tower, and when Freljord tried to defend it, they just tower dived, used their man advantage, sweeped them, and then rotated for another tower. That's just really smart and good rotations by Bilgewater.
That was, I want to say, 3 towers in about 10 minutes. That was well played.
3 towers and like 5 kills, plus they're about to get here. Oh wow, JD Mage.
Oh, great. Destroyed. Nautilus taken down shortly thereafter.
Yeah, and so with that is, Freljord, they know Dragon's coming up soon.
For Freljord.
They didn't have the exact time, so they were a little early. But they knew it was coming up soon, they were ready, and then they saw that the Nautilus and Graves out there by themselves.
Hey, and Gangplank ult, but I don't think...
But you can get this Dragon. Nunu got it. There goes Gangplank. There goes Fizz. Nunu dies from the last tick of Ignite, but still very worth, even though Nunu died. You can't be mad about the result of that. Nunu's going in on the Nautilus.
Excellent play by Freljord. Looking to turn this and India gets wrecked. Graves taken out as well.
Graves goes down again. He just got back up from the kill earlier. Now he's down again. Oh, Trundle about to go down. They survived. No, now he's down. Udyr's down. Freljord overstayed. They were too low to try tower dive.
Trying to chase, but Nautilus is just a bunch of CC. Ooh.
So,
honestly, I thought Fizz had gotten that one, but apparently, as the shark was eating Quinn, Gangplank shot her, so kill for
He shot both. He shot the shark and Quinn
he
at
shot
the same
the shark,
time.
it went through the shark, it hit Quinn, killed her, and went out the other side of the shark.
Yeah, that. Because, he's just a good shot like that.
He's a drunken master.
So, Freljord, they had a great play, but then over-committed to trying to take that tower while very low. And Bilgewater saw the mistake, went to make, cash in on that opportunity. Meanwhile, Nivea missed her wall. Instead of putting it in front of Gangplank to stop and put it behind it, it made it harder for Freljord team to chase.
Yeah, that was unfortunate because they all had to squeeze through that wall between the gap that it made in the terrain.
Now, looking at the goal lead, it's about a 5,000 goal lead for Bilge. Not huge, but it's definitely getting much bigger, especially compared to the earlier leads we were
The
looking
tower
at.
change is also in their favor because
Freljord has...
Freljord only has their inhib towers left.
Yeah, so, Freljord cracked the outer layer towers, got all the outers, but Bilge has outers and inners. The only thing left is Freljord's base, which means any kind of major push, whether it be just a mini wave pushing or a split push, they really have to worry about because without trying to deal with
The struggle taken down by Fizz, the wall and the pillar just not enough to save him.
Yeah. Man, this
Lydia trying to turn things around also gets destroyed.
Third team got caught way out of position already.
That is a 4 for 0.
And looks like they're going Baron.
Yep, this would be an opportune time for Baron.
And with that, they've been really put on the damage because that's going to give them a great siege. And once you hit the inhibitor towers, it's a lot harder to take them out because you have to go through the base walls. And so yeah, it's a more narrow thing, harder to siege. Having Baron for that is going to help a lot. Oh wow, over half of Quinn's health taken away just by one Gangplank Q.
That does not bode well.
No.
With the Baron buff, the pushing power for Freljord, or not Freljord, Bilgewater is now that much stronger. Because whenever they next to their minions get stronger. So this is gonna Freljord's Bilgewater's pushes are gonna start hurting.
It's for Freljord, they really now, because of all this pushing power and threat that Bilgewater has, any split push they have to respond to. They have to respond to any kind of split push, whether there's be minions or actual champion split pushing, and so that puts them in a bad situation where they have to have less men or less characters over for the main fight. So yeah, that's just really dangerous for Freljord. Although they do have teleports, so that does help. They do have a couple teleports that could potentially help them deal with split pushes, yet still be there for team fights.
But they have to make sure that they don't actually die going to respawn. Fight break down mid lane. Struggle taken down pretty quick.
Amelia very low, trying to get away from Malachi. She goes down.
Quinn manages to take out Graves, but
I just want to point out that the Baron buff, if you look at that canyon in the mid lane, that's what the Baron buff does. It gives him enough range that he doesn't even have to worry about the tower hitting him so far.
oh my god.
It's like, you give Baron buff onto one canyon minion, you could, in theory, win the game eventually just by itself, because the tower will never touch it.
Oh my goodness. That is so overpowered. And it looks like they're not gonna push any harder, but rather they're just gonna head to Dragon, which I understand. All of Freljord's back up them. But they're pretty much gonna be unable, they are unable to protect the Dragon.
For starters, they didn't have vision, didn't know what was going on. For second, they're all stuck in their base, couldn't get there. And third, they just didn't have the power to fight Bilgewater.
Nope. It would have just been a repeat of the mid lane fight with probably an even repeat performance of Quinn killing Graves.
Yeah. Now, gonna look at the Braves build here. He went with the. Oh, well, we got five.
Yep.
There's Nunu. Freljord really needs to either commit to having a split push comp where, you know, we gotta have wards for the split pushes to teleport to, and we gotta be prepared to do it, or just stick together. Because, you know, that fight they weren't really ready for any kind of fight.
No, they were not.
They really need to just come up with a plan. We're going to stick together the whole time because that's going to give us the best advantage for any fight we get in, or we're going to try to do a split push and use our teleports that we can have and Bilge can't thanks to the Summoner spell ban. They need to commit to something. Quinn is not near the top lane. She's moving there now. Anivia's backing though. They really need all 5 people to defend this tower if they want to have a chance. Fizz dives in and then just jumps out. Gangplank ult, it doesn't do a whole lot.
Well, it's because it doesn't scale from AP, which,
Well, I meant just the positioning of it, you know, in the time. Now, so if you didn't know, for those listening, Freljord for both the first game and the second game, rather than trying to protect, you know, their ADC or their support, which they only have one of each, they decided to protect Anivia because, oh, Fizz is diving, Anivia very low, Anivia pops. They're going on gameplay. He's getting very low. Nunu ult. Oh, the Trouble finishes him off, but now.
The Trouble with Nunu exploded.
They burnt everything they could to take out that Gangplank, and they got it, but it cost them 3 deaths.
Yeah.
Well, Anivia is getting too close to this Graves, it looks like.
Yeah.
Flip goes in, but she gets caught out.
Not enough damage. With the rest of the village.
Oh!
I couldn't see. Was that the quick draw through the wall?
Yeah, he quick draw through the wall, and boom,
That was
Anivia.
well done.
Alright, yeah, but as I was saying before that fight broke out, Freljord decided to protect Anivia over one of their 2 bot lanes, which only have 1 of each.
And they banned Rom, which left them with support Nunu.
Yeah, but, you know, the reasoning probably behind Anivia is we've seen some very, very skilled Anivia players on Freljord. Neocloud's gonna be one of them. Last game he did really well on Anivia, and I've seen in other games do well on Anivia. But it's not paying out for them in this game. Once in 6 and 8, that's not the score you're hoping for when you're protecting that champion in particular from the game.
That too.
I mean, you know, Anivia is very great for a lot of things. You know, she gives great AoE teamfight power. She has nice utility with her stun and wall. She has slows.
Looks
a lot
like
of damage. Very late game.
Bilge looks like they're grabbing the scuttle crab. They may try this Baron right now.
And so use the last Baron to get the minion power and the inhibitor. Gangplank ulting just for the assist. It's like, so yeah, he doesn't even have to worry about saving because he's so far ahead.
Sacrifice Fizz for that Nashor buff.
In a sense, though, I feel like that wasn't an unnecessary sacrifice. Oh, Quinn gets hooked.
Grab and slowed up by Nala.
Trundle gets ulted. Quinn's so low. He's gonna go down. Anivia's still alive. They take down Nautilus. Can they deal with the Gangplank though? Neokai's there too, but he's not the damage threat. He's a tank. So why are they focusing him?
Oh, GP taking pretty low play.
The stun.
Eats his...
Oh, he goes down just barely.
Oh, mutually assured.
Mad. Mutually assured destruction. And now Anivia is all by herself, trying to recall and get back to save her Nexus Towers. Quinn just respawned. Here comes Strumble 2. Anivia wall. They get the Maokai. They get the game point.
Maokai just both taken out. I think the Baron buff is now gone.
Yep, that is everybody dead, I believe. So, since everyone died, they got Baron, quickly lost it, didn't get any towers off it. They get some damage onto one of the Nexus towers, and a few kills, but the towers heal, and I think, losing all 5 of your members.
Baron for Baron's sake.
Yeah. And then
looks like there's going to be a fight in front of Dragon,
Fizz goes in, Trundle very low. Trundle.
Fizz burst it out by the rest of Freljord. This was just poor positioning for Bilge. Freljord capitalizing on the fact that the rest of Bilge water was near their own base.
And then it flashes over. Yeah, so I gotta say, Freljord, they had a lot of problems. One area where they had... Oh, there goes Graves. The one area where they haven't struggled is Dragon Trolls. Like, yeah, they let one go, but that was when they absolutely had to. They had to deal with the base being pushed in. But other than that, every dragon has gone their way. They got 3 dragons. Bilgewater has 1. And, Anivia, although she's doing bad now, is a very strong late game champion, as well as Udyr. If they keep up this dragon control and go into the late game, they could potentially turn this. But Nunu gets caught out. Udyr goes in. They're trying to disengage, but Gangplank all slows them down.
Slows them down. He just shoves out Nunu. But Fizz himself getting beaten up. Ooh, he does the playful tricks. They're out of that.
But now goes Trundle. Udyr has to run away.
That was an excellent counter on the side of Bilge, managing to get everybody out alive.
Yeah. And Quinn there, she tried to deal damage while they were focusing Nunu, but by doing that, she left herself in a position where Bilgewater could engage on her, and this cost, 2 more deaths because Trundle tried to help her. I gotta say that this Trundle, though, he is really having a hard time. He got the Thornmail earlier on to try and deal with this just very oppressive gameplay they had to deal with in lane, but that left him incredibly weak in all other aspects other than the armor, because he delayed getting his Blade of the Ruined King, and so he didn't have any damage very early on, and so he had to go for that.
And now he's pretty hard, but he gets caught out, and goodbye, Trundle.
Yeah. Tower is worth it, though. Tower's worth more than 1 kill, so he should be happy with that. Now, let's see. The gold lead is about a little under 7,000 in Bilgewater's favor. So, still, that's a sizable lead. But, Freljord does seem to be able to stall this out.
Graves getting chased down, but manages to make it to his tower.
Use the Blade of the Ruined King active, slow down your sped himself up, kept himself alive. Now, Baron is up in a minute and a half, roughly. And
that's going to be the next point of contention. This next Baron is pretty much going to make and break the match.
Potentially. I have seen a lot of times where, especially in the LCS, it's like they both are just dancing around Baron. No one actually commits to anything. They're just dancing around Baron for 5 minutes. I doubt that will happen in Factions game because, like the LCS, Factions, people just like to kill each other, and so...
Exactly.
That's what makes Factions better than the LCS. It's actually entertaining to watch. They're not sitting there farming the whole time. They're killing each other.
Yeah.
There, in less than a minute. Freljord doesn't know the exact timer, but they know it's relatively soon. They have it warded, and they have the scuttle crab. Bilgewater, no wards, but they know the exact time.
So it looks like they're gonna try to take down the middle inhibitor so that they have a little pressure on Freljord whilst they try to take the Baron.
Freljord only had 3 people mid. Nivea and Udyr were pushing top and bot. And so they have backup, get in position. Now they got 5, 13 fight. Oh, the face checking a bush! Udyr just popped instantly! Oh man, that is okay. That's how it's popped. Trundle trying to lock people up. Oh,
Jason,
it's too close to a turn. This could be a... They're turning this fight around! Oh. That they got Fizz and Gangplank low.
Catching up to Fizz. Oh.
They don't know where Gangplank is though, but they shouldn't try to focus on getting the Gangplank. They should either go straight for tower or for Baron. It does look at it as though it's going to be Baron. If any of this starts it off, she's going to need Nunu there to tank it for her soon. But she can't deal with that damage for long. Nunu doesn't have that high of health. Well, he does, you know, now have some tankiness built in and regen, so that's enough.
That is
Which
an
means
unfortunate turn of events for Bilgewater.
that is going to make sieging virtually impossible for Bilgewater because already Anivia is an amazing job of wave clearing. Plus they have Baron buff on all their minions. Siege is not really a possibility.
Dragon buff.
They have 3 dragons, this would be 4, that's a pretty big one. And we'll set them up for a 5th. And obviously 5 dragon buffs, 5 dragon stacks is a gigantic buff.
Plus Baron is going to be ridiculous.
Well, they won't have the 5 at the same time as this Baron. Anivia forcing Gangplank away. They quickly pop dragon, but Anivia is super low. Gangplank backs away. Troy needs to regroup. They need to get information. They're pretty spread out right now. They need to group up, get in the right formation. Tanks in the front, carries behind them. They do have great siege power. Nivea is just recalling right in the open, kind of a little taunt. She was low, understandable. Wants to spend some gold probably too. But that does give up a lot of siege power. But
Realm is going to take down this turret.
now they need to back up and regroup because Bilgewater is starting to flank him and Bilgewater is still by far up in gold. Yep, they don't try to overcommit. They're regrouping, heading towards bot because that's the last inner tower remaining. After that's only the base and inner towers. Udyr is away from this team. That is a... But they do catch out Nautilus.
Baited in.
But Nautilus is not the one you want to catch out. He is the tank. He gets away. Udyr is really opposition. Okay, here we come to help him. Freljord got a little split up that fight. Bilgewater was 2. And so they trade 1-for-1. Both sides were really split up there. Udyr going straight for the Graves. He wants that ADC out of the game. But there is a Guardian Angel. They have to kill the Guardian Angel and then kill Graves.
Uh-oh, but his team is nowhere. That's Guardian Angel pops and Quinn picks up the kill.
That is a dead ADC. They're looking to take the bot tower. They're likely going to. Although Gangplank could possibly do a number on them. If Quinn is saying that, would get better odds. No, what the hell am I saying? They just kill that thing so fast.
Chunk, 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 chunk. Dead tower.
Yep.
So suddenly, despite the gold and kill difference, this is swung to an game.
It does seem that way. Maybe possibly even in Freljord's here because they've been dictating the moves so far. They have the better late game team comp. I mean, it's hard to tell when the score. You can usually tell the score by gold and towers and kills. This time, it's much harder to tell. Freljord could possibly win the
I
lead.
feel that it's been, who's been in control of the game has kind of been tilting the entire match.
It started off.
First Bilge gets a good pick, then Frel, then Bilge, then Frel, then Bilge, and, you know, Frel gets the dragon, Bilge gets the dragon, Bilge gets the Baron, Frel gets the Baron.
Yeah, although there was a time where it was Bilge for the majority of the part dictating, coming out ahead, but now that has switched to Freljord. They've been dictating the last few moves, been coming out ahead in all those moves. Yeah, this is very close, and this is a very key game because Freljord won the first game. If they win this one, Bilgewater loses a set of feature matches for the first time in history because this is Bilgewater's first arc.
Yeah.
Oh, the Trundle gets potted out, but Coin is trying to go and save him. Has to ult and then flash. Ubi and Mew go in. Please get the barrier. There goes the the ADC and the mid. Gameplank's there. Doesn't quite finish off Anivia. Maokai goes down. Gameplank's like, I can't re-engage. It's 1v5 if I do, even though they have 2 low health champions.
That was an unfortunate fight for Bilge.
Now, this is really looking like it's a possibility of Bilgewater losing a set of featured matches. Made possible by the Summer Spell bans. We can't be sure how much of an impact that was. They did seem minimal due to the spells that got chosen, but we're not sure about that. And we're not sure yet if even Freljord's going to win, because the game's not over, although they do look to be in a commanding lead.
Although that is 2 inhibitors down.
2 Nexus Towers going down simultaneously so fast. This is going to be the end of Bilgewater's win streak!
Bilge has lost.
Holy crap, Bilgewater!
That is how the mighty have fallen. Just think, they were the boogeyman of Naira when this arc began, and now they've been taken down by the Ice People.
Oh my god, I did not think this was going to happen even with the summer spell bans. Holy crap. Pork chop here, how are you feeling? I know you're Bilgewater.
I don't know.
No comment?
It was close, really. It was that game went on for like, what, 45, 50 minutes?
44 minutes.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Wow, but this is history, people. Bilgewater almost went undefeated for the entire arc in terms of tournaments and feature matches. Almost. Freljord has ended it. Wow,
Well,
yeah.
I figured if we ever did lose, it would probably be to Freljord because they're probably, I mean, their team fit, they're just as good or probably better than Bilgewater's because they have a lot of CC.
Yeah. That's Freljord. They are the slow down team.
Exactly.
Alright, but okay, we have to move on to MVPs here though. Okay. For Freljord, you want to start this off?
Sure. Man, I honestly didn't think that Frel was going to be able to.
Hello?
What?
I honestly didn't think that Freljord would be able to win. I thought that Bilge was going to, crush them early in mid-game and then take this match. But Freljord just managed to get all those, Bilge would engage and then they'd be unable to finish it because of all the CC. And I'm rambling again, so I'm just going to give MVP to Quinn.
MVP to Quinn, alright. Quinn does, have the most kills in the game. Makes sense. She's got the most gold. I don't know. I feel like Quinn did good, but I also have to point out that the Udyr did a lot in those team fights setting up. It really felt that way. Plus, Anivia was a lot of wave clear, a lot of siege power.
Yeah.
That being said, I have to agree, Quinn, even though those are honorable mentions.
I think I would have liked to see a Nami instead of Maokai. Nami could have interrupted Nunu's ults, in 2 ways that could have helped maybe. And the heals and the sustain, so I don't know. I mean, Maokai did pretty well, but Nami probably could have been better.
Yeah, well, I mean, Bilgewater kind of took that risk. It's like a lot of times, we'll see if they won the first 2 games, the 3rd game they'll do like a weird support or something because they've already won. This time, they lost the first game, and the 2nd game they decided to do the weird pick.
Yeah.
And lost again. They didn't stick to their meta, unfortunately. But, and then again, you can't really blame, like, Maokai wasn't the problem. I mean, he did pretty good. I mean, it wasn't like the player's fault on how they played, but, could possibly be, maybe Nami was just a better choice. Alright, but MVP for Bilgewater now.
Probably Fizz. Maybe.
I mean, if
Fizz or GP, I'd say.
I'm sorry, what?
Fizz or GP, I'd say.
I want to say Gangplank because he had a lot of global ults. I mean, some of them were just for assists, some of them were they were needed, but they were good. He also, if you look at what Trundle had to do for that whole game, it was he built Thornmail first just so he wouldn't die, and that made him really suffer through the early game because he had no tankiness against the Fizz, no damage, and so he was very, incredibly weak early on, and that was all because Gangplank was just so overpowering.
Oops.
So yeah, that's for me, it's Gangplank.
Alright, time to set up game 3.
Alright, so, yep, and for those watching, I'll just state this real quick. These matches are about research bonuses. We're going to have a little bit of research going on the last couple weeks. And because Freljord has won 2 games, they get guaranteed plus 75 research. If they win a 3rd game, they get 100 research. But if Bilgewater wins the next game, Freljord stays at 75 and Bilgewater gets 25.